Hi everyone, Luke here, hope you're doing well. And in this video, it's going to be a general 2019 preview. So that's going to be pretty exciting, okay? So this is just a general sort of video that I do make once in a while. I used to make it on my other channel, but as you may not know, I run another channel. It's called Deep Healing Space. If you're interested in healing and meditation and that type of stuff, that's a channel with about 5,000 subscribers. And then there's a link to it on the right hand side on the where it says related channels. I have it, and it's called Deep Healing Space. So you can check that out. But I decided to separate the two channels, and this channel is now more cryptocurrencies, politics, and other stuff that I'm interested in. Okay, and like I said, on that channel I used to do more cryptocurrency stuff, and you can go see those old videos. And so this video will be talking about cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. And so that's why I moved it to this channel. But anyway, let's talk about what I think is coming in our near future, okay? This is just from many different sources. You know, I spend a lot of time researching different things and noticing trends. And I'm a pretty intuitive person, okay? And so this is just a general 2019 sort of thing, okay? And it'll just kind of be off the cuff, okay? So, first of all, 2019, a very contentious issue that we will see many online arguments about, and we'll see some of the truth start to spring up about, will be vaccines. Okay, it'll be the vaccine issue. Okay, I'm already seeing it. Now, you may have noticed that the left and the media, they've stopped talking about global warming, and it's changed. It's changed into what they're now calling climate change. Why are they doing this? Because it's becoming more and more noticeable that the Earth's not warming up. In fact, the Earth seems to be cooling down. And from my studies, it seems to be that the Earth is actually entering a cooling phase. You can call it a mini ice age, you can call it a grand solar minimum, but this current cycle seems to be a cooling period. And basically, global warming is becoming more and more of a joke, okay? And I'm just noticing less and less people are buying the bullshit, basically, okay? And so, from my frame, we've won that battle, okay? Now, I'm sure there's a lot of people that still believe in global warming, but the trend, I've already seen the trend change. Okay, I've already seen it happen. And basically, to me, the battle's already won. But there's another battle, and that's the vaccine issue. Okay, and you need to research this for yourself. You need to go watch interviews of mothers that had their children affected by vaccines. You need to go watch documentaries on it. You need to go read studies. You need to go look at the ingredient list. Okay. You can go to cdc.gov, go to DuckDuckGo, search engine similar to Google, type in vaccine ingredient list cdc.gov. And the CDC is the Center for Disease Control. It is a government entity, .gov, the official government website. They will tell you what they put into the vaccines, okay? Things like food dyes, MSG, formaldehyde, aluminum, mercury. Okay, they don't even try to hide it from us. Okay, and I'm seeing it spring up in more and more online debates. I'm part of the Donald Trump sort of community on like the Donald on Reddit. Okay, and many people are starting to debate this. It's like half and half. Half the conservatives I'm around, you know, think that there's something up with vaccines. Half of them think that think that anti-vaxxers are similar to flat earthers. Okay, and so vaccines are going to be a very hotly debated topic in 2019. Okay, other trend, we're going to see more and more trouble with the EU banks, you guys. So EU banks, so Deutsche Bank, the worst is Italian banks especially. I wouldn't be surprised if the next financial crisis started from Italian banks. Okay, if you go look at their balance sheets, they're very they have way too much debt, and they're just in bad shape overall, okay? Italy's also entering a recession, same with much of the Eurozone. And if there's an Italian bank run, it'll probably set off a whole Eurozone-wide crisis that will eventually hit American banks, okay? Most American banks are in bad shape too and everything, but I really want to emphasize that Italian banks and European Union banks are in bad shape, okay? If you have money in an Italian bank, if you're watching this and you live in Europe, you need to get your money out of the banks. Just leave enough basically where you can pay your rent and stuff, but your money's not safe. Remember in Greece when they went through a financial crisis, what happened to depositors' accounts? They did what's called a haircut, and they basically just stole people's money right out of their account. The money that you keep in a bank is not your money. You're not legally entitled to it, especially in Europe. And it's important that you're aware of that. Okay. So, EU banks, terrible shape. Okay. We will see more chaos in Europe overall. Okay. So this includes the yellow vests. I do predict that I think that there's a good chance that we will see full-on collapse in several European nations. France, maybe Germany, maybe Sweden. Okay? The reason for this is because they have way too many immigrants that are from a hostile culture. They have way too much debt to how much GDP they have. Their banks are in terrible trouble. They have issues with demographics. And their whole society, I think, needs a whole sort of mixed shape up. Okay? That's a controversial thing. Okay, I'm not anti-Europe or anything like that. I am an American, obviously, so I am more pro-American overall, and I'm more pro the American system. But I think that the yellow vests are just the beginning. We'll see it spread to the UK and things like that. Okay. With cryptocurrencies, okay, I think that this year we will get a Bitcoin ETF, and then we'll also get backed. Okay, so I'm super bullish on cryptocurrencies this year. Okay, lots of money will flow to Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies through the ETF and through backed. Backed's basically a game changer. Okay, and these are the big boys entering. Okay, these aren't me or you. These are the multi-billionaires trying to get into the space. Okay, and there's nowhere else for the central banks and for the powers that be to push inflation into except for cryptocurrencies and precious metals. But they can't really pump it into precious metals yet because that'll inflate the cost of living too much, because it's very difficult to push inflation into gold and silver without it also affecting oil, real estate, the cost of your gas, the cost of your milk, all your food items, rent, and things like that. And so I do think that cryptocurrencies will be the first thing that they really try to push the massive debt bubble into. Okay? Okay, other things that we will see. We'll see the continued fracturing and dissolution of the Democratic Party. Okay, so Democratic Party, Democrats failing. Okay, this is what happens when you make your party, you emphasize identity politics, and you make it the center of your platform. The Democrats now, they're basically fractured into groups that favor one group over another, right? And so let me give you some examples with Democrats, okay? So you have pro-Islam, right? So you have pro-Islam versus gay rights. Okay, so Democrats are historically pro-gay rights and gay marriage, and now they have there's several new Democratic senators that are Islamic, and they're pro-Islam, and they're pro-Sharia law. Islam is not compatible with gay rights, and so they're eating each other, okay? Same is true with transgender rights versus feminists. Transgender versus feminists, okay? This is very important as well. Transgenders versus feminists. So many transgenders think crazy things like that transgender females should be able to compete against other females in sports, okay? And then many feminists are saying, this is crazy. We're having men compete against females. This is not feminist. You can't have both. They're eating each other, okay? And then probably the biggest one is just establishment Dems versus the super socialists versus progressives. Okay? So establishment Dems versus progressives. This is just like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer types versus Ocasio-Cortez, and some of the other younger progressives, okay? Those two are also incompatible, and many moderate Democrats don't want crazy full-blown socialism because our country would fall apart, like Venezuela, okay? And so the Democrats are eating each other. They're just fracturing more and more, and I don't see any strong contenders that can compete with Trump. They don't have any strong leaders that the party can get behind. They're just fracturing, and there's so much corruption with each other, and they're starting to eat each other, basically. The basically subdivided groups. And they've also pushed their ideology as far as you can. So when you have untruth and you believe in a lot of these things that Democrats believe in, one thing you have to realize is that you can only push the ideology so far before people start to wake up. Okay, so like with transgenderism, people were kind of into it for a while, but now they realize, oh, this means men competing against women in sports. That's not fair. Something with like being pro-Islam. Oh, this means that gay people can't get married where they institute Sharia law. Oh, that's not cool. And they've pushed it, like with for instance, a lot of Democrats think that you should be able to, like a new thing is that basically making kids into transgenders, where they basically allow their children to undergo sex changes when they're not even old enough to kind of make that sort of decision themselves. Okay, you can only push it so far, right? The next step would actually be pedophilia, and there are some attempts to normalize pedophilia and sexual attraction towards children, but the more moderate and more sane Democrats, they think that's crazy, right? And so if you keep pushing the boundaries of your ideology, you can only go so far before you fall off a cliff, and that's where the Democrats are going, in my opinion. Okay. Other trends. So let's talk about the specific cryptocurrencies. I think first of all, the major cryptocurrencies will be where most of the money is pushed into, such as Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. Okay, especially. Okay, I do think these will move first, and then they'll start to move also more into the utility tokens. Okay, and so my favorite utility tokens are going to be PPT and Veri. Okay, these are just more financial ones. I like the utility tokens that are more focused on financials. I don't like the betting ones or things like that. I'm more bearish on Ethereum, and I'm more bearish on smart contract platforms compared to some of these utility tokens. I am much more bullish on PPT and Veri and maybe some other utility tokens when compared to smart contract platforms. There's just so much competition, you guys. So I'm really into utility tokens and then money currency. So Bitcoin, Litecoin, Digibyte is another one. Even Bitcoin Cash. I'm becoming more of a fan of Bitcoin Cash. I will make another video on that sometime, though. Okay. And so Ethereum's running into so much trouble because there's so much competition, you guys, for smart contracts. You have Ethereum, EOS, Cardano. You can do smart contracts on Bitcoin and Litecoin. You can do Nisigo. There's just Tezos, Eternity, Cosmos, Polkadot. I think Qtum is maybe one. I might be wrong on that one. There's just so many smart contract platforms now, okay? And we don't need that many. We only need a couple as long as they work. EOS is another one that has smart contract platform, okay? And so what I'm more bullish on is the things that go on top of the smart contract platform and where it doesn't matter, okay? So if you think of Ethereum and the smart contract platforms, these are like railroads tracks, okay? Cliff High talks about this. And then PPT and Veri, they're the trains that run on top of it, okay? And there's just so many railroad tracks now that compete with Ethereum. I'm more bullish on the money currencies like Bitcoin and Litecoin. They're mineable, and they actually have value as money, okay? And then the utility tokens that run on top of the smart contract platform. I do think that Ethereum will do good, and a lot of these smart contract platforms will obviously do good. But I do think over a period of time, the utility tokens and the money currencies will outperform, okay? But I think Ethereum will do fine, and many smart contract platforms will still do fine, okay? Other things that I got talking about, climate change. I do think that it's becoming more and more of a consensus that global warming is basically bullshit. That's just, we're already at the stage of nail in the coffin, basically, okay? Other things that I think that we'll see in 2019, we'll see some more blockchain-based social media platforms, and we will see the slow demise, I think, of Facebook, Google, and some of these tech companies that are way overvalued. So Facebook, Google, I think Apple's probably one. Facebook, Google, Apple, Twitter. It'll be realized that these are censored more and more. Either they'll be broken up, I think, or the government will actually come in and regulate them to a certain extent. Or it'll be some combination of that along with us migrating to other platforms. People forget, MySpace was around a while, and then it turned into, no one uses MySpace. people, the same thing will probably happen to Facebook. Okay, there's nothing. Facebook doesn't really produce anything. All it does is Facebook's whole business model is that it sells your data, and once people wake up to it and the government wants to regulate it, and it's their business model is destroyed, they don't have any use case, in my opinion. So I think we'll see the demise of these sort of giant things. Okay, and yeah, gold and silver are still good buys. Okay, I still like those. But let's see, anything else that I want to talk about? Those are my general sort of themes. Look for European bank problems. Look for Bitcoin ETFs and a lot of money to continue to flow into cryptocurrencies. Look for vaccines to be a hotly debated topic. Probably the next sort of thing like climate change. Really contested. And a lot of truth will come out about vaccines as people wake up to it, and it'll be hotly contested. Look for the continued demise of the Democratic Party. Look for us to enter a sci-fi world. So look for space tech to start to come up more, and we'll finally start to see tech applied more towards our transportation system. So like flying cars, better and better rockets to go into space, maybe some sort of deep state technology, better solar panels, and we'll see. I think we're going to get a faster pace of technological revolution, partially due to blockchain. You have to realize that the money flowing into these cryptocurrencies and utility tokens will be the greatest wealth creation event in human history, and will be the greatest transfer of wealth into human history. So the money's coming out of fiat currencies, out of the stock market, out of bonds and all that, and it's going to be pushed into these cryptocurrencies and these utility tokens. And this will be a huge, even though the old system will be collapsing, there will be a renaissance at the same time into space industries and all sorts of new industries as the capital is freed up and our money supply becomes healthier. Okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye.